Have you ever thought about working on board a cruise ship? Well, take it from me, a gender fluid queer who has 3.5 years of experience working on board a massive cruise line, that if you get the opportunity to do so, do it. Hey everyone, it's me, Ramon Rice Cake, and welcome to my channel. First off, I just want to say that I hope you're all having a great day, a fabulous night, whatever time it is that you're watching my videos. I hope that I can send you some good and positive vibes. With the pandemic slowly coming to an end, and more people are going back into work, or people are looking for new work, I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity to finally release this video. One of my earliest videos on YouTube was titled "Don't Work on Cruise Ships." And I know, it sounded very negative and alarming and a little bit clickbaity, but it was meant to grab your attention, of course. But my intention with it was to come across very real and to showcase that cruise life isn't as glamorous as it's cracked up to be. Where is the glamour? In that video, I listed a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't work on board a cruise ship. And for the longest time I thought, okay, I'm gonna release its sister video and focus on the positives. And this is it. This is its sister video. So if you want to hear my top 4 reasons why you should work on board a cruise ship, then make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and keep on watching. Reason number 1, you get to travel the world for free and get paid. Hello, that is a win-win situation. Hello. That was the main reason why I joined ships to begin with. I remember I took my first cruise vacation and I caught the travel bug after that, and it also opened my mind to the jobs on board. I got to see the workers and meet them and ask them about their lifestyle, and after that it was just a new life for me. In my 3.5 years of working on board a cruise ship, I was fortunate enough to visit over 40 countries of the world. And I have the refrigerator magnets to prove it. Now that I'm a flight attendant, that number is actually closer to 50 countries and over like 65 cities. Now, refrigerator magnets was the one thing I decided to collect because they're small, they're cute, nice designs, and they can all fit on my refrigerator. I'll show you a little insert of that right now. And now every time I go to my fridge, I get to see the countries that I've been to, and it's just such a nice reminder of all the experiences and adventures and all the places that I've visited, and it just takes me to a happy state. Now imagine I decided to collect, I don't know, like teddy bears or plates or, you know, just something big and have like a huge collection of that. Like, where would I put that? Like, you know what I mean? So magnets was, I think, is kind of the best thing to collect. Reason number 2, you get to have once-in-a-lifetime adventures. Now this is more of an extension to reason number 1, but it's more particular to certain things that you can do in certain countries. For example, I'll go through a list of some of the things that I got to experience, like glacier and whale watching in Alaska. I can't do that shit in Toronto. Or climbing the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia. Or feeling like Indiana Jones in the lost city of Petra. Ugh. Petra, Jordan is one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been to. They call it the Rose City because of like the rose sandstone. I forget what it's called, but it's so pretty. And I can go on and on and on about certain adventures that I've had, but I don't want to come across like I'm bragging. This video is not about that. It's just meant to show that you can't just do these things, you know, in your daily life. It's just meant to show workers compared to being a passenger on board, where I've spoken to passengers, many of them, where they've told me that they've saved up so much of their money, thousands of dollars, literally waited their whole life to be able to cease and do some of these things. Where if you work on board, you kind of get to do it for free for the most part and get paid. Number 3, you'll meet some of the greatest people you'll ever meet. And the worst, beware of the plastics. If you get that reference, we can be friends. But seriously though, you'll have some of the greatest friendships that you never thought you could have and meet some of the most amazing people from literally every corner of the world. I remember on my second contract, I had a roommate. His name was Glenn. Hi Glenn, shout out to you. Now I'm a Filipino in Toronto, Canada, and I know many Filipinos, but Glenn was the first ever Filipino with an Australian accent. You guys, when I first met him, I thought it was the weirdest and also the coolest thing that I've heard. You don't get Australian accents much here in Toronto, 1, to begin with. 2, I've never seen one on TV or movies. 3, all the Filipinos here just sound like Filipinos. So you just have the Filipino accent, where Glenn had an Australian accent. And it's so funny because he said the same thing about me. He was like, well, I've never met a Filipino with an American accent who's actually Canadian. And so obviously we just bonded on being Filipino but living in different parts of the world. I also had my first ever boyfriend in my life while working on board a cruise ship. It took 28 years for me to get into a relationship. After all the guys I've dated, it took me living and working on board a ship to find someone that I liked that liked me back. How cute. Isn't that romantic? He was a Serbian watch salesman on board who was actually straight when I first met him. And of course, through hanging out with me and talking to me more, he realized that he actually really liked me, and we got into a relationship, and I flipped him. They don't call me Flipper for nothing, you guys. And I think that's what makes these friendships so special, are those experiences that we got to share together. Like none of my friends back home or my family back home got to do any of these amazing things with me, but these friends have, and so I think those experiences will always bond us. Last reason number 4, you can save a lot of money. Now, some jobs on board make a lot more than others, of course. That's just how the world goes. That's how it works on land as well. But for the most part, the structure is essentially the same for everyone who works on board. You get paid monthly, you get to eat for free, you don't have to pay for rent. So you essentially have no expenses. So in that way, you can save up a lot of money. Now, obviously, everyone comes from different socioeconomic backgrounds, and for me, I grew up with a mother and a sister who were both accountants, so I grew up very financially conscious, very financially literate, and so I decided to live on a strict budget where I only allowed myself $500 a month for expenses, for whatever I wanted to buy, food, clothes, tours, anything that I wanted, but only $500. The rest I decided to save, and I invested it wisely, and throughout my entire cruise career, you guys, I managed to save tens of thousands of dollars. So if you decide to work on board, be smart with your money. Have I convinced you yet? Do you want to work on board a cruise ship now? Now, those are my top 4 reasons, but obviously there's so many more good reasons why you should. Just seeing the sunsets, the sunrise, being on the waters, the ocean, that it's just a whole different lifestyle. You guys, to this day, I still think about being on board the cruise ship, because it really was an adventure of a lifetime. It feels like a different lifetime ago. I think of those memories so fondly. Like, I'm looking at my magnets right now and being like, ugh, Bermuda, Estonia. Like, I would love to just be in those places again. And I'm so happy that I didn't take any of those things for granted at the time, you know? Because I could look back at it now so fondly and just be so happy that I did it. So, if you do get the opportunity to work on board a cruise ship, do it. If you've made it this far, help your girl out. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment for me down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye guys.